Hey guys, this is titled The Empty Nester is Putting Out. Now, the reason I'm making this video is to help people that are at a crossroads, are at the fork of the road when your children are gone, whether they leave to get married or go to college or they estrange, and you're kind of at a crossroads saying, who do I give myself to? And if you're married, the best thing you can do is start dating your spouse again. If you're staying together, you all can you can go back to when you first met and introduce a new style of dating as married people. Can you believe? And I'm just letting you know, there's some people that will stay together, this is their soulmate, this is their forever person. When the kids are gone, they've been looking forward to being alone with their spouse. It's kind of like Failure to Launch, when Matthew McConaughey's parents couldn't wait for him to get out of the house, and then when they were gone, they had naked Saturdays or Tuesdays. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. It's when your kids are gone, you start to explore again. And so that's an option. How exciting is that? But then again, if you're married and you had children and you both kind of grown apart and there's no reconciliation, like you realize as older people that this is not your forever person. And I hate to say that, I'm not going to negate relationships, but some people in their 20s get married to have children. That's just how they were raised. It's their family tree. And so some people realize that this is not going to be the person in the third chapter of their life or when the kids are gone. So you go through, some people get divorced and it's amicable and you part ways and you end up with other people. And that's just the way it is. So those are the people, and the single people out there, the empty nesters who are single. What do you do? And after you've invested in your children for about 20 years, and some people it's 20 or 30, 40 years, maybe your kids never left the house. But I wrote this down. I said, when your kids are gone, it finally gives you an opportunity to start dating again. Whether it's your husband or someone else, if you're single, you can get on these dating apps. Now, don't fall prey to scams and such like that, especially if you're lonely. It can be a dangerous place if you're lonely. So if you're lonely and you're desperate, the best thing you can do is meet. Well, first of all, take care of yourself. Just remove yourself from the dating pool altogether. I'm not saying you can't get your fix, but what you should do is possibly go through therapy or talk to someone so you're at a better place to date, because you don't want to fall prey to a scam. Whether it's in person or online, you don't want to do that. So take some time for yourself and just heal. Dating when you're desperate is no bueno. You see people that lose hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to scams. Don't be that person. So take some time. Now, if you are like the way I was, my kids had left. I was by myself. I was single for about 10 years. I was healed, at a good place. I was ready to be in a relationship, and I realized I wanted to be married again. I did. I wanted that partner. I wanted someone who had my back. It was really important to me. I wanted the whole enchilada, not just a dessert. So what I did was I went on Tinder and I met my husband, and he was in the same mindset I was. At first, both of us were in the mindset that neither of us wanted to be married again. That was our mindset prior to meeting. And then when we met, we realized that we were compatible for marriage. I know it's scary to say because a lot of people are really negative about it, but we both had the same ideas. We just really jumped into it really quickly, actually. I met him. I had a key within a month. 6 months after we met, we were engaged, and we got married 10 and a half months after we met. It's kind of exciting, and it did work. So anyways, but when your kids are gone, you can put yourself out there. Even if you don't want to date and you need to take the time to heal, you can still go volunteer or join groups or make new friends. It's a new journey, and there's a lot of, how many millions of people are out there who are without children? So anyways, that's all I wanted to say. Put yourself out there, and if you've been single for a while and you don't want to get married again, and you're at a good place to date, there are certain times when you're an older woman who's considered, I don't want to say a cougar because I don't want to label anyone, but there are times when women are older, they want a no nonsense situation. You can meet someone younger. I prior to meeting my husband, this is when I was 39 years old, so this is 16 years ago. I had some losses, and my daughters were late in high school, and I was 39, so my kids would have been just at the time prior to them leaving. And I met someone younger, and he was in his 20s, and we hit it off, and we ended up being friends. But I knew with his age, I wanted him to have the experience that I had. I knew one day he probably wanted children. I didn't want children anymore, so we hung out, and we ended up being friends as a result of it. He was very mature for his age. I was very youthful for my age. You know, he had been through a lot in his family, and so we kind of were there for each other. And so it was more, you know. So we loved one another, and although it wasn't long term, it sufficed for that time. So, anyways, just put yourself out there. You never know if you're married. You can rekindle that spark with your spouse. So, anyways, that's all I've got, and I'll be back.